Hello and welcome back to another episode of No Suit Survival. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 27. I think this is going to be a pretty special episode, and the reason for that is I think this is the episode in which we go to space. I can't think of anything that would stop us from doing that, other than, the ship not working. That being said, let me take some of this stuff off the to-do list that we had last time, and let me add some of the new stuff that I want to do in order to get to space. Okay, so here's the thing. I was thinking about the space prep stuff, and I guess I could, I guess I could just leave it, because these are things that we're going to want to do when we move to have a base up in space. I just thought it was funny. It's like I'm about to go to space, and yet I did none of these things. So the two main things that I want to do right now is I want to finish the plane. I was given some comments about some stuff that I did wrong, and I appreciate it. One of them is by adding the extra hydrogen tank underneath the plane, I inadvertently made it so two of the thrusters no longer have access to the inventory. So I need to fix that. Another thing is I totally forgot to put oxygen tanks on this thing. In doing so, I might have to redesign a lot of this to fit oxygen tanks. I don't know why, but I didn't even think about that, but that is such a huge part of this whole thing, and I forgot. So thank you everybody for pointing that out to me. And I also want to add an ore detector and an antenna so that way we can find stuff. I'm also going to put our Patron board. I was thinking on how I wanted to do that because I already have so much support from these patrons. So thank you so much for anybody who is part of that. I mean, thank you everybody for even just being here, but a special thanks to everybody who is a patron of the channel. I'm gonna do a Patron board, but looking at some of these, I have like what looks like full names of people. And so what I think I'm going to do is if it looks like it's a full name, I'm going to use initials, and I'm going to reach out to each of the patrons that are marauders, maniacs, or masterminds, and I'm going to ask them specifically what they would like to have listed. But I want to do this. I want to say thank you. It's part of the reward package, and so yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. All right, let's start with the Patron board because I think that will be the quicker thing, and then we'll work on the plane a little bit. Alrighty, there it is, our Patron board. Thank you again to everybody who's on this list. I'll be reaching out to you guys to ask about what you would like for me to put on this list. Just, I want to make sure that I'm not using your name in a situation where you don't want it to be used. Alrighty, well with that out of the way, let's go ahead and finish building our plane. Okay, well, so we have some things we need to talk about. One is, like I said, this, because I have this hydrogen tank here, it makes it so these two conveyors are no longer connected to anything, and so these thrusters don't have access to the hydrogen. So I need to fix that. And in addition, I forgot about the O2 tanks. And here's the bummer. The oxygen tank in this game is not, for the small grid, is not actually that small, which is a bummer, dude. Here's what I'm thinking. It's not my favorite. It will be better. I think what we need to do is kind of... this is such a bummer. But I think what I need to do is I need to redo this and just make it bigger. Because it would be a lot better if we could have a like instead of a small hydrogen tank, like a normal sized hydrogen tank. And obviously an oxygen tank or two. Yeah. So I think that's what we need to do. I think I need to... Maybe we'll just... what should I do with this? Here's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to just have it be kind of like a little fun craft on this planet because I don't want to get rid of it. I like it. And it's, by the way, just in case you're worried, I am 100% going to make this next rendition the same, like it's going to be the same ship, just bigger. Don't worry about that. I really like this design a lot. All right, give me just a quick sec. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to an atmospheric ship because this thing's not gonna go to space without the O2 tanks anyway. So I'll change it to an atmospheric. We'll fly it around just for a quick joey ride, and then we'll work on the bigger one. I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to get this thing to perform like a skid. I think one of the wheels is having some issues. Okay, I think I got it most of the way done. So let's hop in and see if we can take this thing out. The wheels are acting a little weird, so we'll there we go. Oh yeah, this is going really smooth so far. Goodness gracious, come on. Oh, my wheels are stuck. All right, let's see if I can grab the turtle and lift it. Or I might have a dumber solution. What happens if I what happens if I close the door? Oh, well, nothing good. Ah, it kind of worked. All right. Oh, and we're stuck again. Dang it. All right, let me grab the turtle. See, these are things that we're learning, because right now we're just trying to see if this concept will work. So I think one thing we've learned in our next rendition of this thing is that we need it to have bigger wheels. And unlock. That worked surprisingly well. Let me head back up there, and then we'll see if we can fly. Couple things. One, I put some extra thrust. I'm gonna turn those off. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to blueprint this thing just in case I crash it, because we know that is very much a possibility. Okay. And then one last thing I didn't add on there, and I feel like I should have, is well, I probably should add air brakes. I should also fix the runway. Give me one moment. That's not facing the right direction. Alrighty, here we go. Air brakes have been added. The runway has been cleared. Let's I think I'm gonna take off going the other way, just because I want to make sure that I have enough room. Like if I drop off the other side, we can still go. This will also be the first test run of our runway. So lots of firsts here. All right, I'm gonna turn on the extra thrust and let's go. Woohoo! Oh yeah, no problem. Let's turn off those, and I think we can still make it. Oh good, a storm's coming. Crap. Alright, well, here we go. Coming in for a landing. Classic. Dang it. No, don't fall off, don't fall off. So stupid. I hate storms. Just makes me so angry. I know my health is low. Why did a storm have to hit right now? Are you kidding me? We lost something on here? Wait, it says no leaks. Oh, it's because we don't have any oxygen outside. That makes sense. Unfortunate. Yeah, so my base can't pressurize right now because when storms are going on, there is no oxygen outside. And, I mean, even though it says low right now, functionally in the game it doesn't have oxygen. So for the vent that I have inside the base, it's just there's a depressurization vent on the other side, and so I don't have a oxygen tank like I do at the other base, which is foolish of me. So we'll just have to keep waiting this storm out. All right, the storm is finally over. Let's repair some of this stuff. Came in a little too hot on the landing on this last guy. Well, we blueprinted it, so we can always print another one. It sucks, because I really like this one, but I'm just gonna roll it back, and we're just gonna hide it under the... We're just gonna hide it down here as one of our attempted ships. One day, this is gonna be like my junkyard. Oh, I should put it in the flat spot, if I can. I have it cleared out. Yeah, this will be... Those are the remains of old Bob, and then this is where our current ship is. So, all right. Well, it's about to be nighttime, so I'll just go ahead and get started working on the new one. All right. I think for this go around, I'm gonna switch it so the piston is over out of the way a little bit more, and then just bring the blocks over so that way I have more room to mess with stuff. Okay. So unlike last time, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clear out stuff, and then I'm going to put all of the things that I know I'm gonna need, like a battery and an oxygen tank and a hydrogen tank. Okay, so battery, oxygen tank, hydrogen tank, cockpit, ore detector, antenna, connector, hydrogen thrusters, gyros. I think that's mostly it, right? And then obviously like wings and stuff. Yep, wings, and then air brakes. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. So let's get to it. Uh-oh. I think that I really like this new dimension. Like it's a bigger ship, and I'm liking the way that it's looking so far, but I do think that this cockpit is now kind of disproportionately small to the size of the whole thing. So I may be rethinking that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think I'm going to finish filling out the shape. All right, I don't know about you guys, but I really like this. So I'm gonna weld up what we got so far, and then kind of see what there is to see. We were able to get the large tank on there and a large thruster, which is gonna be super nice. So yeah, we'll just do this first layer, and then we'll kind of start designing our interior. And by interior, I mean like functional components. Okay, so I have it all piped up. We have 2 oxygen tanks. We have 2 large hydrogen tanks, which I'm pumped about. Now we need to start setting up conveyors for all of the thrust, and I need to set up some connectors. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll actually have the connectors facing down, and then that way I can just pipe it up from the bottom with like a piston, which I think will be nice. And then, well, I don't know, because I still have to, maybe not. Maybe I won't do it down. Maybe I'll have it go up. Because I'm thinking I still need to have downward facing suspension, so that way we can make it a skid. And it might just get a little too in the way to do both. Yeah, I think I'll have the connectors facing up and then the wheels facing down. And I think because of the size of this thing, I think I'll do 3x3 wheels. Alright. There are aspects of this ship that I really, really like, and there are aspects of it that I really, really don't like. Most of the bottom, I don't like. I think it's like too chunky looking, which is a bummer for sure. I might need to rethink a lot of this stuff down here. Alright, well, I'm going to take a break for a second, and I'll reconvene on this. See if a little time away can help reset my brain on a better way to do it. Sweet. Okay, friends, I have returned. Some things have transpired in the interim between when I was last on and now. Most notably was that I had a friend of mine reach out to me and tell me that there was no way this ship was ever going to be able to leave the atmosphere. And I asked why, and they said it's because the plane mod is really helpful in atmosphere, but as soon as you get to like the edge of the atmosphere, like the benefits go away, and so you would still basically need to have a ship that could lift itself off the planet without it. Unless the workaround would be to install a speed mod, so that way your maximum speed limit is over 100 meters per second, because then you could use your momentum that you gain from flying, and then you can just kind of, well, I don't really know how to describe it, but do like a little dip down and then go straight up, and then like leverage that momentum that you have to go into space. So rather than scrapping this ship that I'm really enjoying, I decided to get the speed mod. But adding the speed mod does come at a cost of the air traffic. And the reason for that is, well, on this planet, because the gravity is so high, we have seen like ships drop out of the sky. Not recently, because they just fall far away and then they get deleted. But I had to remove that mod because instead of falling at 100 meters per second and then crashing and then it being fine, they're falling at 500 meters per second, which causes significantly more damage, which would mean that we wouldn't get very many resources from it anyway, and also it's a harder hit on my computer. So that's the exchange. No more falling ships, which honestly, it wasn't like it was doing anything for us anyway. But now we have the ability to leave the atmosphere with a plane like this. So, all of that being said, let's finish this thing. And I know this has been taking a while, so let's do some double time. I have a pretty clear vision of what I want to do. Also, the bottom doesn't bug me as much anymore. I know that that's what I was complaining about when I got off, but I think the only reason it bugs me is because there's nothing on the top. So once we add stuff to the top, I think it'll level it out. All right, let's do this. So I have this idea. Instead of, well, I guess first off, I didn't want to bring it up one more block because I like this kind of sleek look. And I feel like if I add another, it will kind of mess up everything. I was thinking about armor plates, but I think instead of doing armor plates, or maybe I'll do a mixture of both. You know those cars that like, they have glass? They're like supercars and they have the engines in the back. And then typically they have like glass around it so you can see the engine inside to kind of show off. I want to do that kind of thing with this, and I think it'll look really cool. So I'm going to give it a go. Okay, I gotta say, I really like the way that this is turning out. I really love this, the glass. I think that like having these corner pieces kind of keeps that angular look to it. Yeah, I think this is pretty fun. This is probably one of my favorite ships that I've built. I know I should probably wait until I finish the underneath side because I still got a lot of work to do down here. I kind of want to paint the top of it because I have this idea where I want to add like these racing stripes, and I think it would be fun. So I'm gonna do that. We'll start out with just like a black color, and then I want to have like a yellow orangey stripe. I love the racing stripes. It was everything that I hoped for, but this hydrogen tank makes it so this little corner of the stripe doesn't work, and so I'm actually going to get rid of extra fuel for a racing stripe. It's pretty funny. All right, and then I think I kind of want to extend this out using plates. Yes! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This thing's looking sweet. Alright, before I get too carried away, I do need to finish up underneath. But maybe I can find extra space for the hydrogen tank that I got rid of. Okay, I think it's almost done. I need to add an antenna and an ore detector, and I think that's everything. Then obviously I need to plug it in and fuel it, but I think that should be good. All right, let's finish up that last little bit, and then let's charge this thing up. Man, that took a long time. Get the hydrogen in the in the stupid thing, but it's okay. It's all worth it because this ship is done. And I've decided what I'm gonna name it. It was a couple people commented this, and I actually really like it. I'm gonna call it the Seeker. The reasons people gave was because, I mean, this is our scouting ship. The funny thing about it is that functionally this ship really doesn't accomplish a whole lot, which is a bummer, because it doesn't have any weapons, it doesn't have any tools or anything else like that. So the whole purpose of this ship is to fly around in space and find cool stuff, mark it, so that way we have waypoints that we can bring our more industrial ships to later. We're calling it the Seeker. I also have a sneaking suspicion that we're probably going to crash one or two of these, so I'm actually going to keep them numbered. So this is Seeker 1. Alrighty, it's time to test this thing out. I put two, I changed this to have 2 seats in it because I wanted to be able to put the spectator in so we can get some cool angle shots. So let's do that. All right, spectator is in. Let's get this place set up. All right, before I do anything else, I'm gonna blueprint it. Alrighty, it is time. I just gotta make sure I don't hit that decoy. Okay, so here's the plan. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to fly it, and I'm going to try to land it successfully. Here's the deal. I'm not gonna land it on this runway. I have realized that this thing is way too short for a landing. It might even be too short for a takeoff, but we don't really have a whole lot of options. Plus, also, something that I've realized recently is that skids have a hard time putting their wheels on grids. Maybe it's just because of my high gravity, or I don't know. But I think that in the future, having a runway just out of voxel makes more sense. But I'm not going to delay this takeoff any longer. So I'm going to get as far as I can back, and then let's take off. Editor me, you better put some dope music in right now. Oh, hey, what a perfect spot to try to land. Okay. Wow, we picked up speed real quick. All right, so here's the thought process. I'm going to kind of bank around. Oh, I just glanced over the spectator cam. This is such a sick shot. And we're gonna gain some speed coming down. It's hard for me to tell how close I am to the ground. Oh, a perfect landing. Oh, yes. Well, first off, this ice lake is enormous. Holy cow. That's wild. Second off, yeah, I used like so much space to finally land. So, yeah, I don't know if I have the ability. I mean, I guess ability isn't I don't know if I can make a runway long enough for that. Granted, I was having issues because it was hard to have depth perception in this ocean of blue. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna do a little flyby of my base, and then I think we should hit space. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm not mad about it. Oh, how far we've come. And there's Andronio sitting on the little docking platform. There's the spaceport. It looks so small from up here. All right, friends, there's only one thing left to do. Just gotta gain some speed, and there we go. We did it. Look at that. Planetary gravity, 0. Alrighty. I love this ship. I know that it doesn't function very much, like, for utility, but, oh, I love this ship. Now let's talk about what the plans are for the future. We're in space now. So here's the idea. And I'm sure we can actually see it from here. Let's see. So I've been thinking about, like, the future of this series and what we're going to do. So narratively, what I've decided is we need somebody to come and rescue us, similar to The Martian. A lot of people have made that comparison before. Something that is going to be a little bit different for us is that there are actually 3 planets in this little system. There's this one, which is called Caldera, and I will put a link to that mod below. There is another moon next to it that is Object 85. I will also link that one below. And then I think around the other side, somewhere over there, is actually just Vanilla Europa. So the way that I've decided I'm going to do the rest of this series is this. In order for us to, quote-unquote, get rescued, what we need to do is we need to set up an array that we can transmit signals back to Earth to let them know, like, hey, we're still alive, this mission was successful. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to build a base on all 3 of these planets. The bases that we currently have on Helgen are actually on the wrong side. They're over there. So we need to have a base that's in between the different planets. And then in the center of the 3, we're going to build a space station. And once we have those bases, those arrays set up, and the space station, that's when that will kind of be the end of the playthrough. That being said, I also had another idea for an objective that I would love to get some opinions on in the comments. This idea of just building a base isn't like a super big issue now, especially with all of the resources that we have currently on Helgen. And so if I just make a ship big enough to be able to just bring a ridiculous amount of resources, we can build a base in a day. My thought is that we set up some kind of like smaller objective for each of the bases. Like it needs to have these certain things to be qualified as a base. And that way there's more than just plop down an antenna and a 3x3 square box and there's your base. So like one of those could be, for example, power. So our base needs to be generating a certain amount of excess power that we can say is being used in the galaxy-wide signal thing that we're building. Or like the base needs to have its own greenhouse, or I don't know, whatever we decide. I would love to get some comments on that. I want this series to last a good amount of time because I've really like enjoyed it, and I'm still kind of finding my groove even after 27 episodes. So here we go. Caldera, Europa. So we're gonna need to build a base on this side of Helgen, on Europa, and on Caldera, and then somewhere in the center is where we're gonna start building our space station. I think I'm getting pulled into Helgen's gravity again. Yep, definitely looks like it. We're gaining a lot of speed. The good news is like as soon as we hit atmosphere, the plane like part sticks and then we can glide. That's actually kind of cool. I can use the gravity of this planet to like slingshot myself. I don't even have to use my thrusters very much. I mean, when I need to leave the planet, I need to use my thrusters, but man, maybe I should have called this ship the Skipper. Because yeah, you just let it pull you down, gain like a bunch of speed, and then level out. All right, well, I feel like I've used too much of my hydrogen, just like goofing around and flying around, but I think around this area is probably where we're gonna want to build our space station. Probably a little bit further, that way we're closer to the other 2 planets. Oh man, I'm just enjoying being up here. I'm so glad we got out of Helgen. Even though we have to immediately go back to refuel and stuff, it just feels nice. This is 100% the thumbnail. Ah, man, it feels good. I don't know why. I'm like so in the moment right now. It's not like I've never been to space and space engineers before, but it just feels like such an accomplishment. And I think it's also because I really like this ship that I made. We don't have a whole lot of fuel left, so we need to go back. Wow, man, this is wild. I didn't know Helgen had so much ice. I knew it had a lot, but like, I don't see anything other than ice right now. Okay, gonna be honest, wish it wasn't nighttime right now. This is gonna make landing a lot more difficult. Bro. I see the ice lake over here. Alright, here we go. That back wheel is not happy, but we landed. Oh man. Okay, now we just gotta scoot back over to the base, which is right there. Woo-hoo-hoo! We did it. Well, not quite. We do have to make sure that we don't run out of fuel or into any potholes. Oh man. Okay, well, I don't really have a way to get it back on the landing pad, so I need to make something. But we flew to space and back, and we didn't have any like catastrophic failures. Oh man, today is a win. Oh, there we go. All right, let's turn off the thrust. Epic. Oh, and I'm so excited for the spectator shots. I bet those looked really cool. Okay. Honestly, you know what I should do? Because the skid wheels don't like the grid. I kind of already talked about that a little bit. Instead of having the refueling thing up here, maybe I should just make its own like docking place where it's on voxels. Yeah, let me take out Bob and look for a spot. There's a part of me that wants to make another printer over here, so because that printer is better for like turtles, and then if I had like a wider printer that was just a wall, then I could print the Seeker onto the runway. I would need to have like a refueling thing with it too, but then I could just print it, fuel it, and then take off. That'd be pretty cool. But let's worry about Seeker 1. there's a small part of me that's just like, I should just retire this one as like our first awesome ship and then make a second one, so that way if it gets destroyed we still have number 1. Okay, where should I set up a refueling station? I don't know where to fuel this thing up from. I do gotta say though, I do like this view of the base. Looks pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see how our space bases work out, because all hallways and everything needs to be pressurized. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot more enclosed, but I do want to incorporate glass still because I really like these big viewing areas. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm just so pumped. Okay, I think just for ease right now, what I'll do is I'll set it up over here where I'll have where I'll just like maybe take it out of this, make a junction, do a piston, and do it like that. Yeah, that'll work. There's probably a better way for me to do what I just did. I don't hate the way that it is right now, but I think a better way to do it would probably be to set up some kind of like guide for the wheels to go into. Yeah, like if I were to do something like this where I bring these out so that way I can, and they have like little grooves for the 2 wheels to go into in the back, so that way it's consistently in the right place. I think that would probably be better. Yeah, because then if I do that, I can just use a timer block, and I can just, or 2 timer blocks. Yes, right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Now that we have fuel in it again, we shouldn't have any issues. All right, let's try this out. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it'd be cool if it did. All right, I have a cool idea now. So yeah, it looks like the guides kind of worked out in our favor, which is awesome. Now what I want to do is, well, obviously I want to set it up with the timers so that way the arm comes out. But I also want to set it up so when it senses the ship, it will automatically like swing the arm out and dock it. Yeah, that'll be pretty dope. Alrighty, let's see if this works. So the premise was actually pretty simple. I set up the 2 timers, one of them to lower the piston and reverse the rotor, and then the other one does the opposite. And so it should simply just be, it should be as easy as just driving back, triggering the sensor, and it comes down, and then I can just hit 5. Oh no. Clearly that did not. I see. Interesting. So I had it set up so the timer, when it senses the small grid, it behaves a certain way, and then when I like drive away, then it puts it away. That was the idea. But apparently when you connect, it screws that up. Why can it never be easy? Okay, I think the easiest solution for this would actually just be for me to remove the undocking sensor. So keep the docking one where if I scoot back into this area, then it will have it come down and it will trigger that timer. And then I can just connect to it and we'll start refueling. And then what I'll do is I'll actually set up a second timer or a second sensor over here somewhere, just be on the nose of it. Alrighty, let's see. So now I have it set up so, like say I was coming in to dock, I would first go through this one to reverse the rotor, which it does. Then I come in here and it brings down the piston. Okay, then I dock like that, I undock, then I go back through. Okay, let's try it again. Come back. Alright, and then move forward. Cool. Love it when a plan comes together. I'm sure that there are many better ways that I could have done that, but you know what? It's functional, and if it functions, then it's just fine in my book. Alright, now I'm gonna decorate it a little bit, and I think that that'll probably be good for today's episode. Alrighty. Oh man, I'm so happy with how this is working out, and I love this ship, and so good. Oh, I forgot to weld these up. Oops. Alright, one last time. Going to undock, and now we come out here, and it tucks it away, and then we're good to go, and then we just come back in. The cool thing is that I could probably make a second one of these, just like mirrored on the other side of this. So we can have two. Get into place. And there we go. I do need to put a docking and undocking timer on this thing so that way I can just click the button and it does it. But yeah, awesome. So awesome. And I'm gonna take my new path back to the main part of the base. We finished the plane. And honestly, we did a lot more than just that. But we also built a refueling station for the Seeker. Alright, well let's move that under here. And yeah, I'm gonna have to think about what we're gonna be doing for next time, but I'd imagine it has something to do with these. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to No Suit Survival, and we'll catch you next time.